Hey guys, welcome back. I was recently commissioned by Calgary Zoo in Canada to make a mouse lemur for their educational programs, so I'm going to be taking you through the process of making it in today's video. So what I'm doing here is I'm just painting the nose with a brand of paint called Dervian Matisse, and I'm mixing it in with some more chromacryl paint to give it a more skin colour look. So I'm only going to be painting the nose and the mouth in this guy because the rest is going to be furred. So I was also commissioned by the zoo to make an eye doll, so that video will be coming up shortly. Alright, so once this guy's painted, I'm going to go and cut out the fur. This is a really small doll, so it was a bit of a fiddly thing to sew up, so I hand sewed most of it. So I started cutting here and then I confused myself with another outline that I did, but luckily I didn't follow that one. And again, I'm only cutting the backing of that, not the pile of the fur. So this piece will be one side of the mouse lemur, and I will trim it quite a bit, so we'll give that thick fur effect that mouse lemurs have. So here's the piece ready to be sewn. Woo. And this piece will be the underbelly of the mouse lemur. White fur is a little hard to use. You just have to be mindful about what you're actually drawing the pattern on with, because sometimes it does bleed through and leave sort of a stain. So I create the patterns myself for any doll that I make. I usually base it off the anatomical body of the animal. So I probably wouldn't ever sell any patterns for my dolls. I honestly don't think they're good enough. Plus, I'd like to encourage people to come up with their own body for their dolls, so it gives it sort of their own unique flair on things. Alright, so that's the lengthy little underbelly cutout, and moving on to the other side of the body. Again, just going in with my preferred method of cutting, which is the scissors over the razor blade, as it gives me more control over what I'm actually cutting. So once I'm done cutting out the body, I'm going to pin it together, fur side together, and I'm going to run it through the sewing machine just in the parts that are large enough. The rest I will hand sew together to give it more character. Alright, we are done. So jumping ship, and we're here after I've sewn it together and put the armature in and attached the pieces. So what I'm doing is I'm sewing the neck hole up, which I don't normally do, but seeing as this is so small, it requires a ladder stitch to sew it up. So you can find ladder stitch tutorials pretty much anywhere on the internet. If you did want me to make one, then just let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can whip up for you. Even though hand stitching is my most hated thing of making dolls. Alright, finally it's done, but I still have the legs and the tail to go. And here it is. These legs were really tiny to do, probably the smallest thing I've done, but I think it turned out really great. Again, I'm just using the ladder stitch to sew it up. And I do usually tie off a couple times throughout sewing something together, just in case the thread breaks, which I do quite often, which is really enjoyable. Alright, just fast forwarding a little bit to where I've actually finished the leg. All the other ones were pretty much the same. So I'm going to move on to sewing the tail up, which was probably the smallest tail I've done so far. And I decided to hand sew this because it was a really small piece and you can't flip the fur inside out when you have sewn it on the sewing machine. So I'm sewing the tail on the armature, and I do this because I find when I'm sewing something together when it's off, it ends up curling around on itself and it's really hard to sort of get it back to a straight line.
We were trying to really cross the two things over, the acoustic instruments and kind of samples.
So again, I'm going to trim the tail so it's relatively short, as mouth lemurs do have. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it a little bit educational. this little guy was sent off to Calgary Zoo the other week, so hopefully it gets there soon and they get to use it in their educational programs. If you have any ideas for dolls you want me to make, do leave it in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Catch you later. Bye!